Hello, hello, my friends. Jeff Burchell here. Oh, Craig just made it on. Awesome. I was getting started here. I'm going to just click this fan off real quick. Little, I was just going to get things rolling while Craig was getting his computer figured out and could hop on. He kept getting booted off there for a second, but he's live. So, Craig, buddy, how you doing this evening?
I'm doing good, man. How are you? Happy birthday, man.
Thank you, thank you. I'm doing great, man. It's another year. I just turned 39 today, and I think I don't know if I've fully come to grips with it yet.
That's
but
crazy. I thought you were just a couple years older than I was. You're
I,
like nine. You're 9 years older than me.
my son turns 9 in 2 days.
Wild.
I know it's crazy. I definitely don't feel like I'm any older. It's just I think it's a number thing. I think in our modern society, it's in our imagination, and that's kind of funny because that's what we're talking about tonight. That's the topic of our hangout is imagination, and it can actually work in your favor or it can work against you. And it's funny how
Hey,
sometimes
man, it's worked in your favor for sure.
I'm trying to make it every day. That's part of what I'm doing here. I imagine this better life for me and my family, and then I take action behind it because it's not all just about imagination. It's about action too. So we're going to be getting started here. We're just jumping right into things tonight. We're talking about imagination, the workshop of the mind, and make sure to pay attention all the way through this video. We've got some great information for you. We're going to be pouring some more value out like we do on these hangouts when we get together and discuss what we've been learning over the past week and sharing with you. So, Craig, man, before we jump into the content, how's your week going? How are you, man?
Man, it's going good. It's been kind of a roller coaster with I'm getting sick for the past couple days. We're waiting for Cammy. The baby could come any day now. We have a C-section scheduled on the 14th, but the baby can come any day now. So getting ready for that. If you guys don't know, we're Cammy and we're about to have a baby, and we have all our baby stuff right here. It's pretty exciting. In the business world, it's been pretty good, getting a lot of interaction through people. My content has gotten extremely better through these daily shortcuts that we've been doing. I don't know if you've seen my my Facebook wall, but I've kind of taken it into my own as you're supposed to do, and it's been taken off, so that's good. And other than that, I got a new whiteboard today, better than the previous one. And I'm ready to rock and roll.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Well, good to see you. And I'm looking forward to seeing the baby pictures. I that's part of what we're here
for. Be on here one day.
Yeah, that would be awesome. We're both just a couple average guys. We're fathers, we're husbands, we're people that want to make a difference in other people's lives, and that's why we come together and we do these. We put ourselves out there, break through our comfort zones to show other people what's possible, to show other people that change is something that can happen and that's something you can create. And when you first change on the inside, then things on the outside start to change. Your life starts to change, and that's what we're here to help you to do. We're here to just be an example, be the change in the world that we want to see, and that starts with us. That starts with each of us as an individual. And tonight we're going to be talking about one of the strongest forces to change, and that's it's using your imagination. Just to before we dive into the content, Craig and I are part of a bigger team. We're part of a company, the internet marketing company that is largely based in personal development. And he talked about the daily shortcuts. And what this is it's a personal development series. It's an actual show. It happens every day, Monday through Friday. And being part of the business, we're able to share that content, share that information to help people change, and at the same time build an income, build a lifestyle for ourselves, because the world is changing at an extremely fast pace, and we want to keep up with it. We want to keep up with the change. We want to actually get ahead of it so that we're not left behind, so that we're not struggling for the next 40 years of our lives. I've already hitting 39 today. I've struggled too many years of my life, and I'm moving forward. I'm moving past that. I'm making changes, and that's what we're here to do tonight. So, I think where people get stuck is using the imagination. When we're kids, we use our imaginations. We dream big. We play pretend. We play with toys. We give them a voice of their own. We create entire worlds. And Craig, how your son is your son is 3, and then you've got the new one on the way, right? And
my son, he's actually almost 2. He turns 2.
2.
But he already has a huge imagination. He's very creative. I mean, if you watch him, he can take his toys and he makes sounds for him. He's very expressive in his imagination. I feel like he loves cars, and he makes those car noises good. And he'll make them walk. He'll make his toys walk, and do all kinds of stuff. And you wonder what he's thinking about, what his imagination is creating, and he's not even talking yet. And I can already tell he's got a creative imagination.
That's awesome.
He has these little swords, and when we put music on, he turns his swords into air guitars.
And that's just the beginning, almost 2. As they get older, my son's 9 and my daughter's 4, and it's amazing the development of the imagination. And you're just at the beginning part of it. You're in for a real treat as they get a little older, as they start to become more expressive of their imagination and start bringing you into it too. Because there's nothing like getting down on the floor and playing the cars with your kids and doing that stuff. I'm sure you're already doing that. I know you're a good father. So
yeah.
You got to take advantage of that time. We're adults, right?
You know what, too? Thinking about imagination as a child, you can probably even think about back when you were a child, or I can at least, sitting on the floor with all my Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Power Rangers, having these all-out wars and this huge complicated storyline that I played out over days. And when you get older, your imagination doesn't necessarily go away; it just changes. I feel like when your imagination, when you get older, it changes from that fantasy lifestyle or the fantasy imagination, the creative imagination, to more of like a realistic tone. But some people don't ever lose that creative mindset, and you don't ever lose your creative imagination. And that's one type of imagination we're going to talk about later, is creative. So if I'm losing you on that, that's what that is. But when you get older, that creative part of your imagination goes dormant. And we'll talk about the different types of imagination and how you can recover and regain that creative imagination in your mind. Because listen to us right now as an adult, you're probably thinking, well, I don't have any imagination. I can't think of a fantasy world, or I can't think of something that could change the world, or like this whole world is created by imagination. So and we just want to let you guys know what forms of imagination they are, and how you can really, really dive into them. There's 2 types of imagination. It's creative imagination and synthetic imagination. I'm probably jumping ahead of us right now, but I'm just, I guess I'm using my synthetic imagination to create this content for you right now. And what synthetic imagination is, it's like what we base it off of our experiences and things that we've done in our life, and things that are related to, like, a lot of inventors and stuff. They see something and they see what they can how they can make it better, and that's using their synthetic imagination. Now, to make it better, and what they do to make it better, they have to jump into their the creative side of their imagination. And before I ramble on a little bit, let me just pass it on to Jeff so he can kind of give a little bit more clear of explanation of both of those imagination parts of imagination.
Awesome. No, you're tapping right into it, man. You're doing a great job. So you're right. So to back up a little more, everybody has an imagination. That fantasy type imagination is just suppressed as we become older, as we start having to act like adults. We feel like that kind of thinking is childish, but in reality, it's the imagination that will unlock the future for you. We're not talking about a fantasy imagination. We're talking about a constructive imagination. And as Craig said, the synthetic imagination is based on your memories, your thoughts, your what you know, and being able to combine it into different combinations. And then your creative imagination, that's like your gut feelings, those hunches, the downloads from the universe, the how does Napoleon Hill call it? The communication with infinite intelligence. Whatever your higher being is, Napoleon Hill used infinite intelligence as that term because it's a general term that encompasses all kinds of people from all around the world. So wherever you're downloading that information from, that's that creative imagination. So most of us have suppressed the creative imagination for so long that we've got to start with the synthetic imagination. We've got to start with what we have available to us to start tapping into the resources that we have to start moving our life in the right directions. And I'm just taking a quick peek at my notes because I had a couple things that I just wanted to talk about. And the more you use your imagination, the more readily available that resource is to you. The more you can tap into it, the more that when you start focusing on your synthetic imagination first and noticing what you're coming up with, then you can start also noticing when you're getting those hunches. They become more apparent to you. So imagination, and I'll save this for a minute, but I'm going to pass over to you for just a second, Craig, and I'm going to mute you I'm going to mute myself because somebody keeps calling me, and I'm going to just see what the heck this is going on real quick. So I'll be right back, man.
All right, cool. But hey, guys, I want to blow your mind for a second because you can say imagination or you can say subconscious mind because, everybody's subconscious mind controls their actions. And it's kind of like your imagination. What you feed into your subconscious mind is what you're going to feed into yourself, into the conscious mind, into the physical world. So who's to say that we're not connected to infinite subconscious minds of the world? Who's to say that we're not connected and that we all feed on each other's inner thoughts? And that's where like the craziest, amazing, most unbelievable things that our creative imagination comes from is that subconscious mind. And I just love how everything, comes together throughout the day, because our daily shortcut for the day was talking about how to reboot your subconscious mind, how to reprogram your subconscious mind, and at the same as you're reprogramming your subconscious mind, you're also reprogramming your imagination, because I feel like it's all one and the same. And I don't know if you caught what I was saying, Jeff, but do you agree or not?
Absolutely, man. I did catch that. That was my niece calling to wish me a happy birthday. It went to voicemail, so I didn't get it in time. But yeah, no, you're exactly right. And it's kind of interesting that our daily shortcut today was kind of on the same topic, because to transform any desire into reality, whether it's a desire for more money or a better position at your job or whatever it may be, you have to have plans, right? First, you got to have plans, and then you got to mix your plans with imagination and creativity to make it happen. There's a form of science or psychology. I'm not even sure how it falls. It's called NLP, Neuro Linguistics Programming. Neuro meaning the mind, linguistics meaning language, and programming. So it's literally programming your mind with words. And there's one of the founders of NLP was Richard Bandler. And in the shortcut today, David talked about the theater of the mind. And I want to share this concept with you because I thought this was really fascinating when I learned about the theater of the mind. So a lot of people, when they're thinking about their imagination or when they're thinking about the future, they don't see themselves as that being possible. They don't see them, their current reality isn't able to see the potential, the future. So what the theater of the mind is it's a practice to go inside your mind and start reprogramming yourself through words, to start conditioning your subconscious mind to be more on your side, to work with you. So the theater of the mind goes like this. So vividly imagine a theater, and maybe it's a old decadent theater. For me, I really like Art Deco. So as I'm walking up to my theater, it's got a big sign out front, a big marquee style sign with neon lettering on it that says theater. It's got the big posters on the wall with the lights around it that chase around, and backlit posters, and the little kiosk in the middle with the glass all around that you buy your ticket from. And be very detailed with your theater. Think of it in the perfect theater for you. As you walk in the door, there's a big red carpet that leads over the popcorn stand. The smell of popcorn, the smell of chocolate, and the sound of the drink machine filling up the drinks. As you get your condiments, you move into the actual theater, and you walk to the theater, and maybe it's got big red doors with the kind of cushion on it, and you push the doors open, and you walk into this big room, and in the room is a theater. There's curtains that are closed until you take your seat. You find a seat in the middle of the theater, and it's a nice comfy seat and reclines a little bit, and you're able to get nice and comfortable. As you get comfortable, the lights start to dim, and the curtains open. Now on this theater, what is going to be projected is the future that you want. Imagine in detail, in vivid, colorful detail, picture yourself living the life that you actually want to live, where you're going to be at, what kind of house you live in. Is it in a specific area, like on a beach or in the mountains? What are you surrounded by? Are you surrounded by your family? Are you surrounded by your friends? Who are the other actors in your movie? This is the movie of your life, the theater of your mind. And what you can do is you can project exactly what you want to see on that theater. And by doing that, you can disassociate yourself, your current situation, and imagine it the way you want it to be. Imagine the life that you want to be in. And you can return to this theater anytime you want to further clarify your picture, to make that movie even clearer and develop it into an actual goal, into something that is helping moving your consciousness forward in your subconscious mind, activating that reticulating activating system that's searching out the things that you need and getting your servo mechanism working towards what you need to accomplish the goals in your life. So think of that, the theater of the mind. I hope that helps a little bit. And Craig, what do you think?
I love that, man. And it's crazy how just everything connects together, because, in our earlier chapters and earlier steps of the book Think and Grow Rich, we talked about the self-confidence formula, and, actually imagining you as the person that you want to be. And, what you just said about the theater, it's not quite the same. It's a different take on it, but, it's pretty much the same. You want to imagine who you're going to be in the future. And, I do that every day, mostly right before I go to sleep. It puts me in a state of relaxation. It helps me fall asleep. And then, sometimes I dream about who I'm going to be in the future. And, that's my subconscious mind. That's my imagination, because, I take these steps every day to fill my subconscious mind with the information on who I want to be in the future. And, doing that kind of like an imagery, like auto-suggestion type practice. And, it really works. And then my subconscious mind, and my imagination that I gain from that helps me take the action steps that I need to take that will get me to that desired lifestyle and that person I'm going to be in the future.
Absolutely. There's so many different, I think they call them modalities, when it comes to NLP, to visualization, to autosuggestion, to self-programming. There's a lot of different terms for it too, and there's a lot of different methods that work. And the theater of the mind may not work for you if you're watching this and watching the replay and think that that's a little too silly. There's other ways.
Hey, sometimes you just got to stand in front of the mirror and yell at yourself like I do.
Exactly. Right. Brute force suggestion. But yeah, there's a lot of different ways. So, what we're sharing with you is just a tip of a huge iceberg. The realm of personal development is just massive. But no matter where you go, you're going to run into visualization practices. We're, as human beings, we're visual people. Some people are more tuned into their visual sense, but we're all visual people. That's how we operate. That our eyes are a huge part of our sensory system and our seeing the world around us. So using that imagination is important. You have to see what you want in order to actually see it in your mind, to actually see it in your hands, and no matter what it is. So,
yeah, and those people that, sorry to cut you off, I thought you were done. But what I was going to say is those people who seem more tuned into who they are, into that imagination, I guarantee I bet you they do something every day that is feeding their subconscious mind. And I just really want to press into you guys, everybody has this tool, this ability to do this. Like Jeff was saying earlier, that imagination, that creative imagination, is just lying dormant because of the things that we do every day in our life. We kind of just sedate ourselves. A lot of it has to do with, watching television, watching things that have nothing to do in where we want to go, in our lives, and it sedates us. Or even the people around us, and going to that 9-to-5 job, surrounded by other people who are just sedated through everyday life. And if you feel like you're one of those people, if you're watching this and you're like, yeah, I just really don't feel like I have that imagination, feed your subconscious mind to the things that you want in your life. And Jeff, he can talk a little bit more about that, about the imagery. I think he looks at a lot of images and stuff to feed his subconscious mind. I think I remember him saying that one time. Listen to audio, read. We read every day. Try to read every day. Getting better and better at that every day. Turn off the TV. Don't watch the freaking news. If you have to watch something, be very picky on what you watch. Maybe there's a buddy that you've had for a long time, but just so negative, and is feeding your subconscious mind with these negative desires. Maybe you need to cut that friend off for a while before your subconscious mind can get strong enough to withstand all of the negativity that he brings. I know that I have a lot of those challenges in my life that I'm working on every day, improving my subconscious mind. Some days are rougher than the others, but I can tell that I'm getting better and better every day. And Jeff, do you want to say a little bit more about that?
Man, it's an ongoing process. I'm sure that even the most well-trained people who in psychology and personal development still have struggles. I mean, just the other night on the Next Level Mastermind, William Wood, who's a master NLP trainer, a personal development coach, he was talking about that even after thousands of hours of personal development, he still has struggles. He still runs into challenges, and that's when we need to utilize the personal development, actually use that training, use the release techniques, use the thought processes, the imagery, the theater of the mind practice, or whatever it takes to get you out of funk, because you're going to go through it. I've had a couple instances the past couple weeks that Monday mornings have been really tough for me, because part of my day job is I go to a sign shop for a couple hours and work there at the office. And it's hard to go there and be around people who aren't on the same journey as I am. There's about 12 people that work at that shop, and I'm the only one that reads every morning. I'm the only one that listens to personal development audio tapes as I'm driving around. I'm the only one that's involved in a business that I'm working towards a better future for myself and my family. And it's hard, and you're going to run into that too if you start on the personal development journey, or you start a home business, or you start doing something outside the box. When you go places, you're going to be surrounded by people who don't want to be there. And that's when you've really got to guard your mind. You've got to guard your subconscious. You got to be the gatekeeper and be real, like Craig was saying, real selective of the people that you're around and the information you're letting in. We're not saying that you don't have to be friends with them. Choose activities that fit with those people. If they're, maybe they're just a once a month go to the pizza place and have a pizza and beer type of friend, not the hang out with every single day after work type of friend. So you got, because what they're feeding you is going to be feeding your subconscious mind, and you're going to start, the law of association is real. No matter what you think about it, no matter what you believe, it's real. The people that are around you are influencing you. And that's, I struggle with that. I struggle going to places that people are negative and don't want to be there. So this all goes together. It all plays hand in hand into the topic of what we're talking about, imagination. So what do you think, Craig?
Well, I mean, we've talked a lot about it tonight, and we talked about there's things you can do to reprogram your subconscious mind and to rebuild your imagination. Do you just want to go over those stuff in detail? I mean, we have kind of, I guess I have a little bit, but I just really want to push it more onto what we're talking about, because I just don't want to sit there and talk about, I guess the negative part of it than the positive,
No,
but,
absolutely. I agree. Yeah.
And Jeff, his favorite thing to do to feed his subconscious mind, to reprogram himself, to keep him going, is reading. And you could tell. And, I still struggle with reading every day, but it's just something I have to do. And the days that, I read late in the day, you can really tell that my mood and my subconscious mind suffers from it, because I'm not feeding my brain first thing in the morning. I bet you Jeff, he wakes up in the morning, he reads first thing, and he feels he's got that subconscious boost, that imagination boost, I guess you can say, for the day. I do read a lot. I read a lot of blog posts too, because that's one thing that we do. Part of my business is, we read people's blog posts and we comment and stuff. So I am reading, but reading books and reading the information that I need to read to really feed my mind is what I really need to focus on, not just doing it at night, but in the morning as well. And I'm trying to get better at that. And luckily I have a spouse who wants the same thing, so we're kind of keeping each other in check too. And she's sitting there smiling at me right now because I mentioned her. But yeah, so it is a little bit easier when you have a spouse, because you can keep each other in check. But reading has helped me a lot, and just reading this book and practicing the things that I read in it has helped me, because that's what you learn from reading that type of material. And the one thing I do very well is listening to audio, listening to people that have gone through a lot of self-development and have gone through struggle, that have made their goals and have been successful in what they're doing and their experiences and their knowledge. Listening to that every day, it's sort of like you're surrounding yourself with the right crowd, and that really feeds your subconscious mind. I'm going to pass it on to Jeff, because I see him itching over there wanting to talk about reading and maybe audios and stuff, and he can throw in his imagery if he wants.
You're dead on, man. I do start every day with reading. I have kind of a little routine. I wake up in the morning, I shower real quick, and then I get out. That way my coffee's brewing while I shower real quick. I get out, grab a cup of coffee, and I sit down on the couch with I read on my phone. All of my books are on my Kindle app. So I sit down and I read. I try to read a chapter a day, depending on the book. Some chapters are really long, so about 30 minutes a day. And then I spend about 10 to 15 minutes meditating. I used to use some YouTubes that were some guided meditation, but I've gotten to the point now where I can almost silence my mind enough to meditate for a few minutes. And then I usually after that I'll listen to like a Darren Daily. Darren Hardy sends out an email every morning, and that's kind of my routine every single morning, so that I'm starting my day fortified. And the meditation is the spiritual part, and just preparing myself for the day. And then throughout the day, as I'm driving around, I'm listening to audio. Like Craig said, I'm a very visual and audio person. Those are my two main inputs of information. So I like he said, I like to listen to audio. I like to hear stories. I like to get that conversation, because you're exactly right, Craig, that we may not be able to be next to millionaires all day, but if we're listening to their audios, if we're listening to their books, our subconscious mind doesn't know the difference of them being in the room with us or being on a tape or a CD or MP3 player or whatever, and we're listening to it. So that is a very, very powerful way of getting those right associations. And then, of course, you could always just click the link right below this video, enter your email address, and then you could start getting the daily shortcuts that we were talking about. And that's another great way to reprogram yourself, because every single morning you get a nice video post with some really valuable information. You get access to a PDF that you can download as a workbook that actually has to do with that topic, as well as a transcript of the PDF or of the audio, the video, and the audio download. So you can read it, you can listen to it, and then you can actually physically do the workbook. And that is an incredibly powerful way to influence your subconscious mind, to get your imagination flowing, to get the creativity ball rolling. So I highly recommend go ahead and just clicking that link below and putting your email address in, so you can connect with Craig or I, whoever referred you to this page, and we can start making sure you're getting access to that daily information. So back to you, Craig. Let's kind of we're at the 30-minute mark here. We don't want to go too long. We're trying to keep these at a reasonable time for people, so make sure we're not just droning on.
Yeah, I mean, this is just a fun subject to talk about, and it's a challenging subject as well, because there's just so much to it. The subconscious mind, it has infinite possibilities, and so it's fun, but it's challenging to talk about. I see, because we usually stop at 9:30. It's already 9:35, 5 minutes over. But yeah, and I just want to add too, guys. Listen to audio is one thing to feel that you're around the people that you want to be, but every week we get on live calls and we talk with our team. And you've seen, if you guys follow me, you've seen my posts where I post screenshots, or other people tag me in screenshots of us in our weekly team meetings, and you get around people that are just like you, that are learning, that are have the desire to be successful in this business, and it just feels good to be around those people, and to feel that you're not alone. Maybe all the people that you talk to during the day, they have no clue about this side of things. They have no clue there's another way to live. But when you get around those people, weekly, you feel good because you're not alone. And there's a lot of smart people in this industry, that even people that are just starting out, that can help you and give you value. And we just, we trade information and we help each other, and we have great leaders. So if you want to be a part of something else, if you want to do something differently than what maybe you feel like you're stuck and you want that imagination back and you want to improve your subconscious mind, click that button and we can help you be able to find that. We can help you, and you will be able to help other people find the same thing, it's weird to say, because I never thought that I would be able to help people the way I do, be able to provide value to other people the way I do. And what I love about those daily shortcuts as well is, you have something to do every day, of course, but it teaches you how to give value in a proper way, and you can take those and make them your own. And that's what that's what I started doing now. And even as a beginner, I look like I'm a professional. And you could too. I feel like anybody could do this. And it amazes me that not everybody's doing this. like I said, you know, a lot of people, a lot of people's imaginations are laying dormant, and they just haven't really thought that they could do something like this. Um, you know, which they can, and I just wish more people would, you know, wake up and not be sedated in their life in the way, you know, kind of what society has molded you into, and just know that it's a better way. And you know, click that button, and we want to help you. We want to show you that there's a better way, and get you plugged in and get you started and get you rolling. And that's what I'm gonna, you know, I'm gonna end on that, and I'm gonna throw it to Jeff to you know, say his final words in the broadcast.
Awesome, man. You hit it right on the head. You didn't leave much to say because you wrapped it up great. This is a great opportunity for you if you're watching this, if you're watching the replay, to just make a new decision. And we're not talking about making a huge investment. We're talking about a small trial investment to see if it's for you, if the business side is for you, or we're talking about giving you access to this personal development information on a daily basis for no charge at all. We're not asking for anything in return at all for the daily shortcut. And it's entirely up to you to utilize that information or throw it away. We highly encourage you to utilize it because I know it's definitely making a change in my life, and I can tell it's making a change in Craig's life just by the content that he's sharing. This used to be a lot more complicated. When the blogging system was the main product, we encouraged everybody to blog daily. And I used to run into people saying, well, I don't know what to blog about. And that's the good thing here, is that you don't even have to know what you're doing at all. I mean, they literally give you this content on a daily basis. They actually give you swipe copy, they call it, to post on your Facebook, to post on your Twitter, to post on your Instagram. I mean, you literally don't have to know what you're doing at all in order to start actually having a business that works for you and helps people to change their lives. And like we started out with, that's what we're here for. We're here to help you change your life. And like Craig said so greatly just a minute ago, we want to help you. So go ahead and just click that banner right below this video, put your name or your email address on that page so that you can go through the process, so that you can see what this is from the front end to the back end, and just go ahead and make the decision today, whenever you're watching it, that you're ready, and we'll make sure you're plugged into the daily shortcut so you can start tapping into that life-changing information. And we will be back next week at this time to do it again. So Craig, thank you, my friend. I appreciate you spending this time with me, and I appreciate the value you bring. Great job as always, my friend.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it, and I can't wait to do it again next Thursday.
Awesome. Have a good one.